To survive the Himalayas, you have to respect their lethality. This is a landscape defined by sub-zero temperatures, thin air, and jagged rock that stretches endlessly across the roof of the world. Yet, across centuries, thousands of explorers, historians, and spiritual seekers have willingly thrown themselves into this frozen labyrinth, searching for a single, elusive prize. Long before modern climbing gear, navigating these immense vertical drops and isolated valleys was practically a death sentence. Every path was choked by ice and the very real threat of altitude sickness. The mountain range acted as a colossal natural vault, locking away history's most enduring mystery. A moment of wonder. Hidden somewhere inside that lethal expanse is said to be a legendary city known as Shambhala. According to the lore, it's a pure land, a thriving, peaceful kingdom populated entirely by enlightened beings. Outside its borders, the environment kills without hesitation. But inside, it is described as an absolute sanctuary of wisdom and warmth. A highly advanced society allegedly exists completely cut off from the rest of the planet, surrounded by the most unforgiving terrain on Earth. We know about this city not from campfire stories, but from ancient Buddhist writings that have been meticulously studied and preserved. The earliest and most specific references to the kingdom emerge from a body of work known as the Kala Chakra tradition. This mandala illustrates the architectural and spiritual blueprint of the city, detailing a highly structured Pure Land radiating from a central palace. In the outer rings, texts describe a society governed by wise kings, protecting sacred knowledge from the outside world. These ancient manuscripts are tangible, physical texts. They feature exact script and precise illustrations that ground the legend in actual recorded history. By codifying the legend into written texts, the Kala Chakra tradition provided a literal map. It gave generations of seekers a catalyst to launch real-world expeditions into the ice. As scholars analyzed these texts, a fracture emerged, splitting researchers into three distinct camps: those looking for a literal hidden valley, those analyzing a symbolic state of mind, and those searching for a lost ancient civilization. Those in the Hidden Valley camp point to accounts from ancient travelers who physically mapped out approaches to the kingdom. These early explorers spoke of secret routes threading through the mountains, requiring grueling climbs up steep, blindingly white inclines. They meticulously documented the natural barriers blocking the way, noting immense rivers of fractured glacial ice that filled deep valleys and cut off progress. Further out, the texts describe vast, disorienting deserts that swallowed up travelers before they even reached the foothills of the mountain range. Taken together, these immense natural obstacles effectively walled off the region. For centuries, this hostile geography validated the ancient accounts and kept the physical search for Shambhala alive. But deep inside the Kala Chakra teachings lies a crucial detail. Charting the mountains and surviving the ice will never be enough to find the city. The texts state explicitly that Shambhala operates entirely outside the boundaries of ordinary human perception. It possesses a dual nature. It occupies a specific physical set of coordinates, but it exists on a completely metaphysical frequency, invisible to anyone looking with standard human senses. Beating the freezing temperatures and scaling the rock was only the initial trial. The true impenetrable barrier surrounding Shambhala is the limitation of the human mind. To cross the final threshold, the ancient texts outline a strict prerequisite. A seeker must reach a state of complete spiritual preparedness and enlightenment. The Kala Chakra tradition never offered an easy set of directions. Instead, it issued an irresistible, dual-layered provocation to humanity. Future explorers realized that to truly reach the Pure Land, they had to simultaneously conquer the harshest geography on the planet and the absolute depths of their own consciousness. This map of Central Asia shows the intricate borders and regional claims established by 19th and early 20th century empires. The world was shrinking fast. Surveyors and cartographers were rushing to quantify every known landmass, leaving almost no blank spots left on the globe. But high in the altitudes of Tibet and Mongolia, a persistent rumor disrupted this drive for total geographical control. Locals spoke of a valley completely untouched by outside influence. Reports reaching Western ears detailed a literal physical place, a sacred kingdom called Shambhala that had somehow evaded imperial surveyors entirely. The terrain itself made this highly plausible. Massive fortress-like structures already blended into a harsh landscape of stone and ice, naturally isolating the region from the rest of the world. With the map of the world nearly filled in, capturing the exact coordinates of this hidden kingdom became a high-stakes empirical race for Western explorers. One of those explorers was Nicholas Roerich. The Russian artist and mystic mounted a massive physical expedition straight into the heart of Central Asia to track down the source of the rumors. His team faced a punishing environment. Moving large caravans of yaks across desolate, high-altitude plains meant battling elements that actively defied standard navigation. They never found the exact coordinates of a hidden city. Instead, Roerich documented a rich vein of local lore, preserved by the people living in the region. These generational stories consistently described a sanctuary where deep, enduring peace and profound wisdom were kept alive. The expedition returned without physical coordinates, but with a philosophical goldmine. The search for a spot on a map had turned into a pursuit of ancient ideas. The stories Roerich and others collected added a new layer to the mystery. Shambhala was described as a massive repository of advanced scientific knowledge. This graphic breaks down the specific disciplines the kingdom allegedly possessed. Explorers documented claims that the inhabitants mastered complex astronomy, advanced medicine, and rigorous spiritual science long before the modern era. But accessing that vault came with a severe catch. The locals believed Shambhala was actively protected by powerful natural forces that formed an impenetrable veil around it. For the frustrated explorers on the ground, that veil felt entirely real. They were constantly beaten back by impassable, labyrinthine glaciers, lethal altitudes, and a geography that actively punished anyone trying to pass through. The harder Western teams tried to empirically measure and penetrate the region, the more the mountain ranges and brutal weather repelled them. Ultimately, decades of intense 19th and 20th century expeditions yielded the exact same result: absolute failure to confirm a physical location for Shambhala. Because the legend couldn't be pinned to a specific longitude and latitude, it began to mutate. The idea of the kingdom broke free from physical geography entirely. This visualization shows how the myth expanded. Western seekers started linking the concept of Shambhala to other famous mythological lost continents, drawing direct parallels to Atlantis and Lemuria. A grand new theory took hold. Seekers argued that Shambhala served as the original epicenter of ancient wisdom, a singular source that eventually seeded all early human civilizations. The complete lack of empirical proof did nothing to stop the stories. Instead, it acted as an accelerant, turning a localized regional secret into a global spiritual obsession. The physical explorers eventually packed up their gear. The coordinates on the map remained blank, but the true pursuit of Shambhala was really just getting started. Our phones can pull up a street view of almost anywhere on Earth. Satellite imagery and a constant digital grid provide total geographic surveillance. But the physical world still puts up a fight. The Himalayas present a massive geographic anomaly. These towering, high-altitude plateaus and deep, jagged crevices create literal blind spots that block the lenses of modern mapping technology. So, starting in the late 1990s, researchers stopped treating local legends as fairy tales. They began hunting for actual, uncharted geographic sanctuaries hidden inside these mountain blind spots. Specifically, they were looking for what local oral traditions called bayouls, sacred, hidden valleys believed to be physically concealed by the extreme terrain until humanity is ready to find them. The legendary kingdom of Shambhala, once viewed purely as folklore, became the target of a data-driven geographic hunt for these elusive bayouls. By the early 2000s, high-resolution satellite imagery became publicly available, giving independent researchers a powerful new set of tools. This 3D topographic map illustrates how researchers scan the terrain. Overlaying a digital grid across the Himalayas, they identify geographic anomalies. As software processes the data, it filters out known terrain, leaving a handful of highly probable unexplored target zones. This data didn't stay locked in academic labs. Digital communities and online forums began crowdsourcing the satellite imagery, sharing theories about undiscovered valleys and potential underground networks. But pixels on a screen are sterile. On the ground, these target zones are defended by sheer rock faces and aggressive weather systems that make physical access nearly impossible. Confirming the true contents of these massive digital blank spots requires a dedicated physical presence right on the ground. Those digital coordinates are eventually handed off to physical expedition teams. Using high-altitude gear, drones, and GPS, these groups attempt to penetrate the isolated regions. When they do break through, they gather physical evidence of extreme isolation. Unrecorded, white-walled monasteries built directly into steep mountainsides, operating completely off the grid. Alongside these structures, modern expeditions document contemporary accounts. Local guides share unverified testimonies of hidden valleys and experiences of unexplained guidance through the peaks. These isolated communities serve as the living memory of the region, preserving ancient oral traditions through the 21st century. While explorers chart the physical terrain, scholars are conducting a parallel investigation. Linguists apply modern translation methods to newly recovered regional texts. These texts suggest Shambhala functions as a symbolic state of enlightenment, an inner path, independent of any physical set of coordinates. These dual investigations force modern seekers to confront a difficult question. Are they spending their lives hunting for a hidden city of stone, or a hidden psychological state? After decades of satellite scanning and drone deployments, the geographic outcome is definitive. No physical kingdom of Shambhala has ever been pinpointed. Yet, mainstream historians maintain a cautious respect for the region. They acknowledge that the Himalayas legitimately contain massive pockets of land that remain completely untouched by outsiders. The lack of physical proof hasn't stopped the search, it has evolved it. Global meditation communities have adopted the concept of Shambhala as a blueprint for a future enlightened society. In the contemporary world, the legend has transitioned into a symbol of peace, wisdom, and human potential. Shambhala may forever evade our most advanced digital mapping, but its true legacy lies in its ability to endlessly drive human curiosity into the unknown blind spots of our world.